Hello, I'm Amy Ludwig Vanderwater. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Keeping a Notebook, Day 27, and National Poetry Month, Roll the Dice, Day 15. This is Betsy the Writing Camper, my little writing spot. I recently learned of a girl named Georgia who received a writing hammock. I wonder if that hammock has a name. 2020 is my 11th year of writing a poem each day of National Poetry Month. I always write around a different theme. For this year's poetry project, I have decided to introduce surprise. Each April day, I will share a poem's can phrase about writing poetry. I will roll 3-word dice. If a die rolls blank, I will not re-roll it. I will write a poem inspired by 1, 2, or all 3 of the face-up words. Today's Roll the Dice poetry chat is titled Poems Can Spell a Word with the First Letters of Lines. We call these acrostic poems.
It's time to roll the dice, my friends. Let's see what we end up with. 1, 2, 3. And the big roll gives us start, glorious, and glorified. Start, glorious, and glorified. How interesting to have 2 words so close to each other. Enjoy. Hello, my friends. Whether it's morning where you are, or afternoon, or evening, or in the middle of the night, wherever you are, whatever time it is, greetings to you from Betsy the Writing Camper, where here, right now, it is day 27 of Keeping a Notebook and day 15 of National Poetry Month. Our writing chat today is titled, Poems Can Spell a Word with the First Letters of Lines. Now that's a mouthful, but many of you may have heard of this as an acrostic poem. So today we will talk about acrostic poems, and our words are start, glorious, and glorified. So strangely enough, we have 2 words that are very similar to each other, but also a little different if you look up one of the meanings of glorified. So it is wonderful to see you, and I would like to share with you what I did. Now, you need to know that writing an acrostic is not something I usually like to do or actually do. Oftentimes when I read acrostics or have tried to write acrostics, I find they don't really say a lot. They're just a list of words. So I wanted to try this, to write a poem that spells a word with the first letters of lines. But before I did that, I wanted to jot some notes about these different words. So start, I had to begin something. Glorious, having an admiration or having a striking beauty or splendor. I looked these up in the dictionary online. Glorified, it can be praised. Sometimes it's in a religious sense. Also, it can be like making something seem more special than it is. It can be almost a not compliment in the way sometimes we use it. So I jotted, what new adventure might little Mouse have? Where might she go? I was thinking of start. What might she start to sing or learn? Maybe she would make a friend, start to reach out and ask someone's name. Maybe her mail carrier. Is she shy? I think maybe she needs an adventure or a friend. For the second half of the month, little Mouse will have a pal. They will stay 6 feet, inches apart, play board games, read out loud to each other, ride bikes, eat brownies, tell stories about their families, a friendship, not a romance. At first I thought it would be glorious, the word I would choose as in the sun, but I know now that this wants to be a name. So somehow in looking at these words and then in jotting, I thought glorious could be the name of another character. So this is a poem called Glorious the Chipmunk, and I began it by spelling the word glorious right down here. But you see, I did not write just one word next to each letter. It's not just a list that says like great, laughs. I wanted to try to make, I could have done that, but I instead wanted to try to make it flow together. So this is a draft, of course, and you can see cross out city. So here we go. Glorious the Chipmunk. Gathering her mail each afternoon, little Mouse never thinks about her mailman. Only today the chipmunk is there when she arrives, reaching his paw and smile toward her. Instead of rushing away or hiding behind that old rock under the red tulips, she holds out her own paw and says, "Thank you." I started another one. Giving is not hard, but little mouse does not take help easily. Only today, when Glorious brings the mail, right at 1 p.m. as usual, instead of hiding behind the raspberry bush or peeking through the curtains, and I might go back and play with that one some more. But I got stuck at the letter U, and then I thought, I'm going to go back to my first one and play around with the words at the ends of the lines a little bit more. So you can see on this one, I also spelled out Glorious. So today's words are start, glorious, and glorified. And we're talking about acrostic poems, or about a poem can spell a word with the first letters of each line. Now, I don't know if you can tell this from where you are, but it's cold in Western New York right now. Can you see my breath? You think you can? I'm like a little choo-choo train in Betsy today. So have a wonderful time writing. I hope you have a good day. Take good care of yourself and those you love, and I will see you tomorrow.
This is my writing from today. On the right-hand side, you can see the spelling of glorious, Glorious. I don't usually write acrostics, but I did today. Does Little Mouse have a friendship on the horizon? I don't know. Today's roll the dice words are start, glorious, and glorified. I thought it was amazing that those two words, glorious and glorified, both showed up on a roll. Halfway through National Poetry Month 2020, we have talked about how poems can go down the page, play with space, tell a story, compare two things, borrow a pattern from the world, define a word, rhyme, not rhyme, be written in stanzas, ask questions, be circles, be songs, list, repeat words and lines, spell a word with the first letters of lines. Wow,